So, are you going to cover this like in person?
I'm thinking about it, but it's like honestly, if I do, it'd probably be on like one day, Friday or something like that, because I can do just as effective as I need. I can be just as effective as I need to be without even being there. So I don't know, but I'm definitely. It's more than likely I'm about to pull up there for sure.
Oh, okay.
I got about three people in that courthouse.
I got three people in the courthouse. Whatever.
Oh my goodness. How you been, darling? What's going on? You
I've
over there
been.
showing off your young little sexy phase over there. I see you. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was with Young Berg right here, and I was right
That
here
was
wrestling
back in the day, you
Stevens,
know, a
and
little back
y'all
in the day action.
John Cena was right here, and I met The Rock right there. You know, I was on the cast of Who's Got Talent America and American Idol season 5. Y'all forgot about that one, but that was me.
That's what it's giving for real. Yeah. So, what you think about this whole Diddy and Cassie stuff in her testimony?
um, here's the thing that the feds are putting in people's faces, and they're not realizing it. Coercion is what they're going for right now, and then solicitation of prostitution. Because there's a whole line where she say, we look for them where?
On
On
Craigslist?
Backpage and where else?
Craigslist?
Exactly. That's called solicitation, folks. That right there, that's the gavel that you beat right there. And on top of that, saying that she paid, she's technically an unindicted co-conspirator. Listen, I think that the government is overreaching 1,000,000%. I don't believe this is no damn Fed case. Some of y'all thought that domestic violence is something that's a federal case. It's not. Uh, but as far as that goes, Puffy probably gonna end up getting about 4 to 6, and that's gonna end up being that. Everything else after this ain't really gonna matter. It's just to add more salt to bang that damn gavel in. That's what I got from it. What I'm
Well,
getting
there's
from it.
still
Pardon me.
more witnesses to come. Dawn coming up, you know, in her lawsuit, she alleged that he locked her in a car. She couldn't go nowhere. They were forced to record. You know, these are some things that she said in her lawsuit, so I'm sure that'll be interesting. Aubrey O'Day is going to testify. I'm sure they're going to have, you know, other corroborators to bring in the whole Rico aspect of it. Like, whoever was going to get the baby oil, whatever, like, I'm sure that has to come up as well.
As far as it being proven, the problem with the racketeering that I'm just seeing is that she had access and everybody had access to them as being assistants. An assistant technically assists. So unless all of those bodyguards that they brought up there come through and testify, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not seeing it. See, this RICO is supposed to include all the security people, a couple of assistants. This is the one man RICO show. That's the insanity right there.
Well, they
But
had to get Cassie out the way right now because they couldn't start putting on the different bodyguards and different personnel because she is pregnant and she's so far along. So they're going to, well, I would assume, build all of those things coming up.
well, that part is true, but there's also a side of it that says this. You get the most important witness, you put their story out there first, and then basically put the building blocks to hold it up. You can look at it as that way as well. Now, the pregnancy part, that's where I would agree with you, but also from a strategic standpoint, it makes sense to do it this way as well, anyways, whether she was pregnant or not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if they were so concerned with her, that cop would not have been the first person that was on the stand. It would have been her. This would have just been her week, her whole entire week, and they would have ran as long as it needed to run, and that would have been that. So there would have been no
But the
more
cop on the
anything
stand,
needed.
that was only one day. They could have had a scheduling conflict too. You know what I mean? They still have to work. They still have to work with other people's schedule as well.
8
So
weeks, 8 weeks, young lady.
yeah,
Eight
she's
weeks.
due. Like she's about to pop.
That's what I'm saying. She should have been the very first person, not the police officer. That's what I'm saying. If it
I
was
get
that
what you're
freak,
saying, but his testimony was fast. It was quick.
I, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying if it was such onus on her pregnancy, as much as they're putting it out there, we didn't learn she was ready to pop until yesterday. Well, I didn't. I put it that way. I won't say we. Maybe all y'all knew and I did it. I'm out the loop. But I didn't find out, oh, yeah, we got to hurry up and get her out of there because she's due any second now. Because me, I ain't going to lie. I would have been trying to charge her hormones up. Granted, she probably don't have any from being pounded out by like 400 people and disco strobe lights and all type of lubricants. But just in case she might have some, I would have been trying to get her emotionally charged, pissed off and everything. I feel like but it's a pregnant woman though too, so there's that. But I just feel like I don't know, I play a little different. I just would have went and tried to get her pissed off. But I'm glad that they had no man up there
I feel like
crossing her.
they have to play it a certain way when a person is perceived as a victim. You can't go at them at a certain level, and then also too because yeah, she is pregnant. So even if they like, even if like they didn't have to like obliterate her on the stand, like they would look bad either way. Like trying to go at her a particular type of way, being that she is pregnant and she is, um, you know, a victim. So
I
they're
would
still
almost
getting.
agree with you. The only pushback I would give to you is there's always a tone that can be set, and then you can get more mean with it. When they put out today that she threatened to kill somebody, that's when you can flip the switch.
That's why.
Mother or
That's
not.
probably what they're doing right now. We not in the courtroom.
We ain't, but my people are.
I got people inside here. I got 3 people in the courtroom. You know, I got plenty of people in there right now.
Are you trying to make fun of me?
You know, who you got in there? Sylvia, Dennis.
You missing one more person.
Oh, so those are the 2.
For sure.
Sylvia.
You know they're my people.
Yeah, Sylvia, Dennis.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who
You
you
know they
got.
was gonna call me a liar. You're lying.
Huh?
No, I said, you know, they was gonna call me a liar if I would have, you know what I mean? If you wouldn't have put them people out there. I'm not gonna say their names, but I will confirm if you do get it right.
Yeah, I don't. You said Sylvia, Dennis, and Armand. Somebody said. I
Mine.
don't think he talked to Armand. Do you know Armand?
No.
Yes, I didn't think it would be Armand either. Somebody said he know the jury.
Don't do that. Don't do that. The feds be watching me. Don't do that. Yeah.
That's funny. They said you getting the same info we getting, but you know, I feel like it'll be interesting though to see what Don has to say. And I'm curious to see if they subpoenaed the other group member, Kalina, the one I'm sure they had to, because she was the one that he supposedly had called 100,000 times.
100,000 times. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to know if they put Don on and then they put her on and then they put Aubrey on. You know, that'll be a hell of a week right there.
Nick, let's be honest. We need them day 26 niggas in there. Come on. We need them crybaby ass niggas. We need them niggas to hit the stand too. Come on.
No,
You know
I
we
need
do.
Kalina at the front of the door. Why
We,
did you pull out a statement after he called you a million times? why I need them to pull all them records up and show his intimidation, his force, all that. Like, I need them to subpoena her and put her up there.
So you don't want the Day 26 dudes that was crying and all that on there either?
No, I don't. I want Kalina.
Ask your people, because I can't see the chat right now. Ask your people, do they want Day 26 in there?
Do y'all want to see Day 26 testify? You said Q from Day 26? Somebody said, I feel like Aubrey gonna be the star witness. I don't think they're hanging their hat on Aubrey. I think that Aubrey has been vocal, but I haven't seen anything that even the stuff that she's spoken out about, that I don't see that being the hill that they die on. I think that she'll add fireworks, but I don't think that she is going to be the one that they build the case on, because her main gripe is just, that the group didn't, they didn't get treated right in the group, but
yeah,
saying Q.
they did it. Like, that ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing new. Tell me something that we didn't know. You see when he made all these rappers go walk and get cheesecake.
Yeah.
Nah, hell nah. You see him making Usher Raymond, you heard Usher say he had to jog around the pool and jump over obstacles while trying to sing.
Somebody said Stevie J can't testify because they married. Y'all, it's crazy.
I wouldn't want Stevie J wear himself up on there. So do you think he gonna
I'm surprised they ain't heard no gay shit about him yet. As far
as they gonna find him guilty of everything?
I don't know if it'll be everything, but I think that he'll be found guilty of something.
Okay. Do you believe everything that you hear? As far as, do you believe the charges that are levied against him to be true?
I think that soliciting prostitutes is illegal, and I believe that it's been shown that they've done that. I believe that flying them across state lines is illegal, and it seems like they've done that, and that's a part of his trafficking. So I mean, some of it.
So you believe some of these things are true?
Yes. You don't think that they was trafficking escorts?
Technically, yes. By technical definition, yes. But if you ever float out and got your back blowed out and he bought a meal and all that, same thing. That's why I love being cheap these days.
That is not the same thing. Flying out an actual person that you got off Craigslist is not the same as flying out a girl and buying her a meal.
Craigslist, Instagram, Backpage, Twitter, like different strokes, different folks, updated terms and conditions.
I mean, not the same.
How so?
It's not the same.
How though? I'm just curious.
Somebody that you are flying out from Instagram is somebody that you likely are trying to date versus somebody that you're paying specifically just for their mouth and box.
I mean, the goal is the same, just the operation is different.
It's not the same, but, hopefully they lawyers take your approach and introduce the whole...
They better not introduce take my
what's the difference from getting
they're gonna get it 1,000 years, what?
Because that ain't the same, so...
I ever do I'm dating online, I'm flying in. You can't fly out. Hell no. That's my first, I'm looking at everything like, y'all all guilty. We all guilty. We all sin.
Life with
Hell no.
Prissy says, do you think that TD Jakes will testify? I think that it ain't no coincidence, no coinky dink that he decided to step down a few days before trial was finna come to be.
So, obese black man who spends a countless amount of hours standing up in front of everybody has a stroke, and all of a sudden, okay, all right,
You think it's due to health conditions?
that man had a stroke. What the
He did, but he was right back at the pulpit the next day.
No, he wasn't. What the? Oh my God! No, he wasn't.
He was right back at the pulpit the next week. By the next Sunday, he was giving a sermon. I don't care how many times you blink, he was back on the pulpit by the next Sunday.
That's not even true. But okay. What?
Okay.
I'll put it this way: what could TD Jakes say or do exactly? Just curious.
Be a part of the freak off.
You think TD Jakes came in there and pounded out Cassie?
It didn't have to be Cassie. He had other girls that he had a lifestyle with.
I'm sorry. I adore you. That's all I'm gonna say. I adore you. That's all I'm gonna say. Ain't no way in hell you just sat there with a straight face and said
above
this.
slanging it?
Something is wrong with you. Oh God.
You think he above slanging it?
Hell nah. Jesus Christ ran with a hoe. I would never say that. Mary Magdalene was a slut. So the hell I look like? Hey. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be Christian if he didn't. And he said, nah, man. No, yeah. Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Y'all, what y'all thought? I ain't even a Christian. I can tell you that. Like, come on, man. What the hell? But
Rashay says he definitely on a Diddy tape. I don't care what Ceddy say, right?
So you see TD Jakes coming in there and saying all that. Okay.
No, I don't think they necessarily have to have TD Jakes to testify, but they can have somebody say, one of the escorts, one of the people, somebody who else is testifying can, like, same way Cassie brought up, oh, I was dating Michael B. Jordan, or, oh, Kid Cudi car got blew up. I feel like he can come up in this conversation the same type of way through a witness.
It's possible.
I don't think that they're going to put him up there. I think that we'll hear some tea from somebody else.
I don't believe that at all, because I mean, shit, they brought up Michael B. Jordan yesterday. So I mean, nah, this ain't the damn YSL trial where if you had anything to say about YSL in the last 8 years, you finna come up there. Ceddy is being weird right now. How am I being weird? I don't understand. Jesus ran with murderers and prostitutes. What the hell are you talking about? Well, with murderers and a prostitute. If you read your quote unquote Bible, you would know that. Religious people kill me with that. Y'all kill me with that.
Shamika says, I don't think TD Jakes was slanging it, but I do think he knows a lot of information.
Yeah. They want to say that he was tooting it up. So be it. I don't think so, but shit, who knows? I ain't think none of this shit. I ain't think this nigga would rub baby gravy on his chest. That was insane to me.
Yeah, I don't put nothing past nobody, so.
Yeah, I just ain't never heard of nothing like that. Yeah. I ain't never heard of nothing like that at all. At all. Yeah, but I don't. You know what? I don't be reading them novels that be pertaining to women in these type of fantasies. So y'all probably heard some stuff like this before, like the what's that? The 50 Shades of Grey stuff. I heard that that's insane. I'm just
Charlie Santana says, please, they had TD in there folded like a big ass lawn chair. Y'all is crazy. Allegedly, we don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if his name came up. Let Mary M rest in peace. Goddamn, you can't even rest in peace after 2,000 years. Thank you for the super chat, Lay. TD Cakes was tooted and booted. Oh my god. Just because you didn't hear about it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
y'all going off of this based off of what Cat Williams said. That's what y'all doing, and that's fine. That's cool, but at least cite your source when you say this stuff. Like, did we're because I read the whole entire lawsuit of Cassie. It's documented proof that I read it as well. I didn't see anything about any of that.
But she's not the only person that could have had an encounter, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying, where is this documentation that even places him in there? They're going off of a viral interview. That's all I'm saying. If everybody is willing to say this, at least say, well, I believe Cat Williams. And why, unless it comes out today, they was willing to name drop Chris Brown, Kid Cudi, Michael B. Jordan. Why didn't they name drop TD Jakes yet? If TD Jakes' name don't come out,
because she ain't the only person that could have had the encounter.
Sure. So that, what is it? The Asian girl, whatever her name is, Jane. She gonna say it?
We don't know. We gotta wait. It's 8 weeks.
So how about this? Just out of curiosity, if his name never comes up, will everybody in your chat be like, all right, damn, then I guess he didn't do anything? Just curious. If his name,
because his name don't come up, he just could have not been a part of a charge.
Okay. So there's that. If the name never comes up and the allegation comes out, but it never hits court, it still can be true, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just find it interesting how
and we can't even see the videos, and the people in the audience can't see the videos, so you know. Right. Zermoney says, if you think Cassie the only person he had freak offs with, you tripping.
That's amazing because I never said that. That's crazy. It's crazy what I didn't say, but y'all just said that. That's amazing. I never said that. But, all right. I just literally out my mouth.
You said if he had an encounter that they would have brought it up already through Cassie, but
and then I said or through Jane too, who's the Asian girl that he was dating, right?
You talking about Gina?
Yeah. Is that what her name is? I can't remember what the hell her name is. The little dancer broad. That's what I believe Jane too is. The timelines of dating and all that stuff, she's the only one that lines up because after that, it's Young Miami.
Mm-hmm. Daphne?
So I had to find out. Said he plays something safe, bro. I don't play it safe. I'm sorry. You don't make it on these stages by playing it safe. That's not even how you do it. You make bold predictions. That's how it always works. I think y'all should know that. The hell? Let me see. I'm gonna try to find
Yeah, the Asian girl backed out. Gina backed out, but you know. Gina already went public with her story, so why would she be Jane Doe?
Then it ain't gonna end up being her. Then. I gotta find that girl. Oh yeah, it is her. Never mind. This is Gina. Yeah, there we go. Well, wait. I could be wrong on that, but we'll see. I think it is Gina. I think it is. But we'll see.
Yeah,
We shall see.
they say Gina missing in action, but I'm curious to see what Daphne Joy got to say if they put her up there. Um, that's 50 Cent baby mama, and she ended up putting a lawsuit on 50 Cent because she said it was defamation. But like, what's T? What's T? What's T? What's T? You know, because Diddy had her, Gina, and Young Miami all in Vegas going, yay, Diddy, when he got that award in Vegas. So he had his harem in circulation. So I definitely am curious to see if they put Daphne on there because you said Daphne is on his side real bad. Maybe. But
Yeah, he gonna need it.
but
He
if
gonna need
they
all of this. He gonna be all of this.
but if they got anything that can force her to talk, you know.
It said bold predictions, smart predictions. Yeah, when I said year to Rico years ago, that was a bold prediction. Turned out to be smart. Anything else? I said year to dead rapper, year to snitches, all of this stuff for these bold predictions I made when I first started. It's netted me hundreds of thousands of dollars, by the way. But hey, who cares about that?
Charlie says, I believe Miami was getting peed on in her mouth too, wide open like a water fountain on a track meet. That is so nasty.
I think it is 100% inconclusively true that Young Miami got peed on by that man.
I mean, well, she says she liked pee, but that's still disgusting.
Maybe she was getting ahead of it. You know what I mean? Like it might come out later on down the year. Like I said, I got 10,000 Zer money. That's a lawsuit right there. Come on now. Whenever y'all want to take me up on it, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I can't sue because I ain't lost no money over it, but I'm waiting.
Somebody
So
said
is
I
there
want to
money?
hear Lorianne
Take me to
Gibson.
court.
Lorianne
Is there
seemed like
money?
she
Take me to
loyal
court.
to the
Come on.
soil.
Huh?
Lorianne seemed like she loyal to the soil. They said they want to hear Lorianne Gibson. She seemed like she was loyal to the soil, so I really don't know what her testimony will give. But I want to hear from Daphne. I want to hear from Kalina and why she caping for Diddy so hard. I want to hear from Don. I want to hear from Aubrey. I want to hear from some more of the freak off escorts and all that. They seem like they was trying to get Cassie to name some of them, you know, that like they might have, you know,
That
needed
man
that
said he read
info.
paperwork. I got 10,000 right now for Nick at night right now. And she could pull up that news clip paperwork and it say my name in it. It say if it say my name in it, Nick, I will give you $10,000 right now.
What
Or
paperwork are you talking
Zer
about?
money. Zer money. We could do that. I got 10,000 of them easily. Put my sock on.
What?
Yeah, don't play with me. What about Lori Harvey? I'm curious about that one too. I ain't gonna lie. I wish we could see that list. I ain't gonna hold you. I wish we could see that list. That list gonna be crazy.
Of the potential witnesses?
Mm-hmm.
Or what list? What y'all talking about? What you talking about?
The witness list.
Yeah. I hate that in trials they never like try to reveal like I guess I don't know strategy not telling people. Um you said I should definitely go up there. I'm thinking about it. I'm
So,
thinking about it.
all right, Zer Money, let's do it. Let's do it. I want to bet I bet $10,000 if you have a YouTube channel. I don't think you do. Yeah, you don't have no money. Okay. Never mind. You ain't got no YouTube channel. Because I would bet your channel deletion and post the 10 bands. I got that easy.
What is going on with you and Germany? Let me put the link in the chat.
Oh, this an old ass dude too. Oh yeah, you been doing this for how long? Oldest, you
I
been doing this for
definitely wish
7
it
years.
was televised too, because I definitely would not leave my house if it was. I'd be on here from the morning to the night going over it.
It's
But
better than not giving up nothing.
yeah, I believe they're gonna have some more escorts testify though. They would have to.
Oh, I know two of them. I got two of them. You want the names?
That's testifying next.
For sure. They 100%. You remember the tall dude that was with the Angels and all that in Vegas who killed that girl? He was like strung out on drugs and stuff. All right, there was a dude
Are
who
you
was
talking
like,
about the Jonathan Oddie guy?
yeah.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, I know about him.
Yeah, he's gonna end up testifying. There's another one. There's a bald-headed dude up out of Miami, and he got arrested on some fraud stuff with the IRS. He's definitely gonna testify. I forget what his name is, but this is probably exclusive for your people. They didn't know this part. I didn't never name drop these cats either, but I can now just because my bold predictions end up sounding smart when they come true. So
well, they brought up Jonathan when they asked her, who's this? And they brought up his picture and all that. So I think it's safe to say that he is been very vocal. So it's definitely safe to say that he more than likely will be testifying for sure. So I want to
but
know.
you know what's gonna be interesting? What I found uniquely interesting was how smart Cassie played this.
As far as
So when she basically put in the music label within the lawsuit, I believe she did that so that she could mess around and have them pressure him into settling. So that's what I believe that was for.
Backstage, what is it that you wanted? Is there money?
Come on. So you about to delete your stuff, right? We can get this agreement.
Here's the thing, Ceddy. It's not about.
Can we get that agreement or no?
Can you stop trying to overtalk somebody? I just heard you talk for 30 minutes, bro. Calm down.
So we can't get that agreement?
Can you answer one question for me?
Can we get that agreement?
Can you answer one question for me? Yes or no?
So you're not going to be able to agree that...
You want to do the YouTube weird shit. I'm a real street nigga.
I don't give a... Man, you ain't no real nothing. You on internet saying you're a street nigga, supposed to be in the streets.
Ceddy, can you answer one question?
So you're not going to be able to answer my question first, right?
Did you get in the back of a cop car and take the police back to the scene of the crime where you claim you shot a gun at, but really 3 people shot at you?
3 people shot at me?
Yes, 3 people got
convicted. So how about this? How about this? How about this?
Your brother. Is it correct?
How about this?
And then you got on the news and said that you were shot at, correct?
I got on the news and said that?
You don't got a news video of you being skinny, nigga. When you told you was skinny, you wasn't fat like you are now.
So I got on the news and said nigga shot at me.
Lord Jesus. Okay. Were you on the news, period, talking about a crime?
So I got on the news and said nigga shot at me.
No, were you on the news
talking about I got on the news and said somebody shot at me. First off, understand what you talking about. Nobody ever in the little play that y'all try to run was ever charged with a shooting. Why is that? Why did I put the paperwork out and there's nothing about nobody ever? My brother, nobody was ever charged with a shooting. That's because I was the shooter. That's the weird part about it. My brother never shot at me. And the weirdest part about all y'all trying to run through and say all that BS, the weird part about you weirdos trying to say this BS,
I'm not a weirdo, bro.
You definitely a weirdo. You definitely a weirdo.
Having a regular conversation like a grown ass.
I'm having a regular conversation with a weirdo.
A weirdo, bro. I'm far from a weirdo.
You definitely are a weirdo. I'm having a conversation with a weirdo.
You're the biggest weirdo, bro. You're a crip that told on fucking camera, and you took
I told on camera,
and you took police back to the scene of the crime. Are you, bro? Are you kidding me,
So
bro?
so how about this? How
Did you answer
about
any of
this?
the questions?
How about this? How
Okay,
about this?
hey, Neek, can you
How
mute him
about
for a
this?
second,
How
just
about
so
this
I can
part
get a
right here?
chance to
This
ask
gonna
him
be the
questions?
craziest part about the whole entire stuff you saying, right?
Okay, what's the craziest part, Ceddy?
Your timeline of events don't even match up. That's
Bro,
number
did you
one.
jump in the back of a fucking cop car and take it back to the scene of
I
the
Sir
crime?
Money,
jumped
you
in the
keep
back of the cop
cursing.
car.
Did you jump in the back of a cop car and take it
I
back to the
jumped in
scene
the
of the
back
crime?
of a cop car. Let me ask you a
Can you
simple
answer
question.
that
If
question?
you were
Did
the
you do it?
shooter, if
Yes or
you were
no?
the shooter and you knew
Ceddy, yes
exactly
or no,
where to
bro?
deviate a whole
Because
entire
we want to
thing
get
during an
back. Because
active
we want to get back
investigation,
to the Diddy shit.
you don't think criminals know what they doing if they hemmed up by the police?
All right, Sir Money, I had to take you off because you keep cursing, and I told you to stop cursing. So I took you off
Oh,
because you
snap.
keep cursing, and I said stop, and you keep cursing. So, anyways,
Uh,
um, you know, you gotta respect.
back
I
to the
mean,
Diddy
at
stuff.
least not all of
I
the
just
curse
offered
words.
I just offered 10 bands for him or a channel deletion, and he won't take me up on that. That's how I started off with people. Let's go ahead and put money up so then legally you can take me to court.
Y'all crazy. I don't even know
That's
what
all I
y'all was
say.
talking about.
Just see me in court where the truth can come out. And then that way, when I countersue you for everything you have, then we can get it going. Anything that I say on this camera and I say that I'm saying this, here's the reward, I can be held civilly. I hope y'all all know this. So please take me up on my offer. That's all. That's all I ask. Y'all have my government name. So it's not as though I'm hiding anything. So if you guys are bold enough, let's just bet money. I don't care about the I'm street and all this stuff. Bro, you are 58 years old. Grandpa, it's time to hang it
Lulu
up.
said it feel like I'm in another courtroom. I don't even know what y'all talking about, so I'm lost. But I just felt like he wanted to kept speaking with you, so I was like, I don't know. But it's taking everything left. But yeah, so back to the whole case. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. This is the first week down. Cassie's off the stand later on tonight or this evening or whatever.
This supposed to be her last day. But I'm curious, did you see the paperwork that came out where basically they trying to keep her?
So
They played it like
cause a
this. This
mistrial.
is yeah. So they playing it like, oh man, let's keep her, and then if she going to labor, we can throw out our whole entire testimony because she couldn't complete it.
Mm-hmm.
It's devious. It's devious, but
Yeah.
that's you gotta play the game to win.
Yeah, they. But I mean, how would a mistrial benefit? I mean, it'll give them more time to prepare. I guess I don't know, but if they go back and then by the next court date she's not available because she's on maternity leave or something, but actually she wouldn't be.
Nah, because what is that? That's gonna work out to just basically a, a year, if you want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we've seen this happen with a lower level court down in Florida, YNW Melly.
Yeah, they dragging it. But
Yeah, I think.
he actually went all the way through the trial though and got a mistrial.
Yeah, but a mistrial.
If it was a mistrial caused by something like right now and not going for to the jury, I think that they would come back a lot quicker.
I don't know. I don't know. I think the government is willing to take it as many times as they do, unless he basically get found not guilty. Because if you think about it, this man put up how many millions of dollars just for a freaking bond?
Yeah, what he was willing to do, put up his houses and all that.
Yeah, to me personally, it's like, shit. Well, I just think the feds looking at this like, we're gonna shake it up. We want Diddy. They probably look at him like a Leonardo DiCaprio when he did the what's the thing with the buddy with Buddy with the money?
I don't know what you're talking
Wolf
about.
of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street. I think they
Oh,
want him like that because I think even you can agree this is a bit of overreach. Yay or nay?
What, the charges?
Yeah.
I haven't heard everything that's coming out, so I can't say that now.
You can't pull up the...
Because only Cassie has testified, so I can't say it's an overreach because I don't know what the next witness is going to say that happened or transpired or went down and all that.
Okay, so here's going to be, I'm not going to say the SE word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the charges right here. The charge alleged that Diddy engaged in a pattern of criminal activity as part of an organized enterprise. The indictment suggests he was the head of a criminal enterprise involved in activities like trafficking, forced labor, and obstruction of justice. A conviction on this charge could lead to a life sentence. Do you believe, from what you're hearing, that man should be put up for the rest of his life?
If the jury finds him guilty. I really don't have no like I don't really have no feelings either way. Like if he goes to jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. No.
I'm
but,
like
hell no. You done lived a life better than everybody. Shit. It might be heaven for you in there.
Do I feel like he deserved to go to jail for the rest of his life for grooming Cassie, making her do all these freak offs and all this?
Grooming?
Grooming.
She's always been in the older men with at least 10 years older than her. So if he groomed her.
That just means two guys was grooming her instead of.
Okay.
He still groomed her. Even though she dated Ryan Leslie, who was also older, Diddy was significantly way older than even Ryan. And they both were grooming.
Okay, so are we well aware that the quote-unquote rich and powerful dudes typically go for younger women?
Doesn't eliminate grooming.
I'm just trying to make a point.
I mean, I'm aware that they like younger girls.
And aren't we acutely aware that younger women are aware of this as well?
Say that again.
Aren't we aware that the younger women are aware of this as well?
That doesn't mean that they're as experienced, that they are up to speed, that the power dynamics are fair. I could be a young girl and say, if I get with Diddy, he can make me a star. That don't mean that I'm mentally equipped to fucking deal with a Diddy. That doesn't, like,
wow.
That still doesn't compute.
Madam, let me ask you this one last question. Who created the term sugar daddy, and why does it exist?
I don't know who created the term, but that doesn't mean that they're not groomed.
So you, at your age, right? If you were to date a man 30 years older with a lot of money, would you say that you're groomed? That he groomed you?
Not at 38, no.
What's the difference?
Your mentality at 38 versus your mentality at 19 is completely different.
But the age difference of a man who was 60, would you date it? Would you date a billionaire, well, a millionaire? Technically, he wasn't a billionaire then. Would you date 100 millionaire that's 30 years younger than you, and would we call it grooming?
Would I do what? Say that again?
Sure. So if you were to date a man that was 68, 30 years older than you, who had hundreds of millions of dollars, and your intent was to become a star, would you call that grooming as well?
At what
would you say
age?
He groomed you?
At 19?
Would you say that he groomed you?
Not at my age that I am right now, but at 19, yes.
Okay. So it's not grooming when there's 30 years difference and you're in your 30s, but it's grooming when there was, a 17-year difference and you're what was she, 21?
When you are younger, you are not as experienced. Are you saying that a person that's 19, 20 years old has as much experience as somebody that's almost 40 years old and a mogul in the business?
I would say that you at 38 still would not be experienced if you were with somebody who was 68, that you're still youthful and young.
No.
But we can still have people 18, 19 go to wars and get killed and vote and drive and all these things and rent cars and all this stuff and everything. There's still no school for them. There's no legal school for them. They're technically grown. They have to pay taxes. At one point in time, they were able to smoke cigarettes. That became a thing not too long ago when they were 18. They used to be able to drink, and the last holding state was Louisiana, not even that long ago, at 18. So I'm just curious, what are we defining as grooming? Because to me, if we're going to say that, then I would say that every single person who has a certain age difference over you, aka experience, is groomed.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
That's not the same thing.
Okay.
Are you when you were 19 years old, 20 years old, did you have the business acumen that you do now at your age?
The business acumen at my age at 19?
Were you
No, because my
versed
focus
in
was
life?
different. No, because my focus was different. But was I slanging pipe to 40-year-old and some mid 40-year-old women? Hell yeah. But I'm a little different. So I'm gonna be fair. I never found women my age attractive at all. I've always been with older women, but I'm a little different. So but I knew exactly what I was doing.
Okay.
So the woman I'm dealing with is my age. So y'all want to say whatever y'all want to. That's perfectly fine. I wouldn't even say Dylan. That's not even technically. Yeah, nah, the person I'm, that ain't finna be nothing. I ain't even gonna hold you. Never mind. Let me leave that alone. But I'm just saying this. If we're going to say that that's grooming, can we also agree that if you're 25 dealing with somebody 50, that's grooming? If you're somebody who's in their 30s dealing with anybody in their 50s, that's grooming? Can we at least keep the same standard? That's all I'm saying.
I think the standards is evaluated by when you're actually mentally developed, mentally, like, you know what I mean? When you're, because the legal age of grown is not when you're technically mentally like grown. So I think that's where the dynamics start. Also, how much power and influence that he had, it was a significant difference as far as life experience, wealth, income, power. He also had, it's like totally different.
So then I'm just curious, what is the age that you can be where no matter who you date, no matter what age it is, that it's not considered grooming? I'm just curious.
I think that once you're around 26, 25, 26, they're not looking at it as much. But when you're 19, 20 years old and the person is twice their age, that's when it looks like grooming.
Okay. I'm just curious. That's all that is I'm just curious as to when the quote unquote groom is, because in her words, she said she shot him. That's what she said. She said she shot him. And then it started to become something else. So,
but even if she did, that doesn't mean that she was up on game and as sharp as him.
No, you're never gonna be as sharp as certain people. There's people that are sharper than all of us, and some of them just cut from a butter knife. Like, that part is true. But I just, to me, I'm just not seeing it. I believe she is a grown adult, made her decisions. Would that be something I would want to indulge in? Hell no. I don't understand nothing about these dudes with these young brides because to me, it doesn't make sense. It ain't worth it. And there's just not an attraction. Like they still, to me, they still look like goddamn kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so me personally, I ain't rocking with it, but just because personally I don't do certain things, that don't mean that I'm finna sit up here and agree with everybody on certain things. If you are grown enough, if the law says that you are an adult, that's what the law is. So I'm one of those where I may not like it. I definitely there's the age of consent for majority of the states are 16. I'm from California. That would blow my mind to see somebody hanging out with somebody 16 years old and you 25 or something like that. You get what I'm saying? Like dating them. Like to me, that's off. That's weird.
But that's what we're saying.
Yeah, but that's our morality. That's not law. You
But everything is the law versus morale in the psyche of an individual is two totally different things.
I'm just
And
not of
just
the
because
mindset that
something is
woman was groomed.
legal doesn't mean that it's right, and doesn't mean that the person doesn't have an unfair power dynamic.
Yeah, no, of course not. Well, if you are, that's always going to exist in relationships. There's always an unfair power dynamic. If you're the bread earner, if you make more money, shoot, you're going to have a power dynamic. If you're more attractive than the other person, you're going to have a power dynamic. It just is what it is. But I would like to say this to all you old freaky frogs, Shannon Sharp, Diddy, all that, man, y'all better get y'all some. Listen, I wouldn't look at nothing. If I'm Shannon Sharp and Diddy and they get out of this situation, I ain't looking at nothing that ain't at least 50, personally. That would just be me. I got 2 daughters. Very true. Yeah, and your point is?
Lady K, what did you want to add?
I just want to agree with the gentleman. I mean, Cassie was a grown woman. We need to stop trying to place her as a girl. She was a grown adult woman who had the choices to make. And she made a choice that she wanted to pursue her career in the fame, and she paid a hell of a price for it. A nasty, crazy ass price, but she paid it. And she got $20 million from it. That's what she wanted. She did not want to be in this damn federal case.
Okay, not too much on the curse words.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But she wanted the money and she got it. But I don't think she knew that this would come. Like that federal case came right after all of this stuff she submitted. And I don't think that's what her and her husband was betting on. I mean, she married a man who just didn't have it like that. And she was accustomed to a certain lifestyle and she wanted to keep it. And unfortunately, I mean, she had lived a certain lifestyle before that succumbed her to some really crazy stuff. And she had to backtrack it. And she's like, I can get money from him. We gonna get it. Just let me work this. And he was like, okay, I'm with it. But I don't think they knew that was going to get dragged through this like this. Like, y'all have to come to this realization of this. These people didn't know they was going to go through this. And we are sitting here spending our tax dollars on people who are beefing over money and past things that they have done. And it's not right for us. It ain't right for them. And I feel like the whole thing should be just thrown out. My opinion.
Why?
I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
Why should it be thrown out?
It should be thrown out because it's a waste of our money. She got what she wanted. She wanted the money. That's what she wanted. Cassie did not want to go through this case and sitting up there in that courtroom pregnant like that. You could see on her.
You can't even see her face.
Well, the little past things that they show on the like streets and stuff, you know that woman don't want that. Who want to be up there? I just had a baby. My baby 1 year old. Who want to be sitting up there on that stand like that, talking about this crazy stuff?
You got a 1-year-old? How old are you?
Hold on real quick.
39.
Oh, you young.
Am I young? Hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. The screen changed. Somebody said I'm young.
No, I think 39 is young. That's
that.
all. I
Okay.
think 39 is young.
I have a 1-year-old. But yeah, but I mean, I have some wisdom with my child. That's all I'll say with that. But no, I don't think anyone would want to be in that situation. It's no.
I feel like people are envious that she got the money and she is doing what needs to be done to put him in jail. I don't know where y'all get this notion.
I'm not envious of her. She deserved the money she got.
I don't know where people get this notion that because she got money, she can't also get justice too. And then also, too, people are forgetting that
her justice is past due, honey. The statutes of limitation on her justice of abuse is gone.
Not all the way true. That's not all the way true. That's why they're doing it in New York. There's a couple of things where I'd have to push back a little bit on it.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have the stomach nor the resources to do certain things,
mm-hmm.
that's why the civil lawsuits turn criminal. It's
mm-hmm.
because of the anguish that you're going through, and the government's position has always been, granted they don't do it for everybody, is to actually defend people. So even those who can't be defended, once upon a time, when even integration came in, they needed the federal law to come in and do all of this stuff as far as defend those who could not be. So in that instance, I'll push back a little bit on that one. That's the reason for the civil going criminal. Did she want all of this stuff? I'm going to be fair. Technically, yeah, because we knew not about this until she dropped it. She didn't say, we didn't see her basically saying, for years, I hit him up. For years, I basically was telling him he needed to pay me so we can keep quiet about this because I don't want to go through this. So in that sense, I'd have to push back a little bit on that, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I agree on that. I do. But yeah, I still have my opinions about her, but I am happy that she got the money that she deserved, because the stuff he put her through, he was evil for that. You know, I totally think that he deserved to be in jail for domestic abuse, but the stuff that they're charging him for, I don't see it yet. And I guess I have to wait for the trial to kind of unroll, and I got to see the charges and I mean the evidence, and to kind of stack up for me to believe it, but I'm just not seeing it so far.
Can I answer this question with Sweet Tea 81, Nick?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
She said this is not a civil case that turned criminal, though. That's a lie. Majority of the stuff that they're talking about was in her civil suit. That's how that goes. So respectfully, that's not true. That's why you don't see Cassie as a participant. She actually said on the stand she hired people. She's actually an unindicted co-conspirator, which literally falls under that. Her lawsuit, all of these things that she's agreeing to, literally, this is what kicked it off. This is why she's up so early and all this stuff. Do you really believe that Cassie was the first person to experience this crap? Honestly, do you really believe that?
I don't.
You think Cassie the first one?
I'm surprised that you feel like if she ain't said a name or a certain encounter that it didn't happen, or it ain't gonna come up on here. Like, there's other people that encountered this as well.
Yeah, but they had to be put down a quote unquote rabbit hole. They all have, well, some, I'm not going to say all because that'd be a lot. Some of them still have lawsuits as well against him. They want them to speak about those lawsuits right there in the criminal. That means they're going off of what they said. It's not like they've been freaking doing this for years. Where's the proof that the feds say we intercepted this person, we talked to this person throughout the last 8 years? They're going off of what she said. They're painting a story based off of the story that Cassie provided. And then once they see Diddy start to go, I'm going to tap out right here. which was a bad thing to do, then you start seeing more lawsuits coming, more stuff start coming. That's how this started. I don't know what the heck you talking about. I don't know pills. I don't take no pills, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
But hey,
Now,
Um,
do you? So my question: do you think so? After this case, let's just say Diddy is found guilty. Do you think he's going to have more civil suits to come because they feel like because he's found guilty, we can get the money? People are going to see him a certain way.
the civil suits are by the hundreds by now, I'm sure. Like they gonna continue to come until people start getting them thrown out or paid out or whatever the case. So obviously they ain't stopped coming, so they gonna keep coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was one that just dropped that talked about. I don't feel comfortable talking about it because I really don't care. But it's one that talked about basically what he got on him. It's just dropped 2 days ago while in court.
Yeah, the
Y'all think Aubrey's
6-year-old.
going to testify? The girl from Daddy King, the one who's been very vocal.
She ain't been paid off.
You talking about? She supposedly is set to testify.
Okay, I was wondering. I hadn't heard if she was or not.
Yeah, but thank you for coming up, Lady K.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan of Unique. I watch you a lot.
Oh, thank
You are
you.
very thorough, and I love the way you present your news, and you're very on point. I love you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
All right. Um, but yeah, so obviously I think that the lawsuits will come. I just don't. A lot of people are split in how they view Cassie. People think that she's not a victim. As soon as him starting to whoop her ass was introduced into the mix, and as soon as she start getting black eyes and beat and bruised and all of that whole she wanted it, she with it, and all that went out the window for me. So
The thing is, and it's just as simple. You can tell me yes 99 times, but the moment you say no the one time, that's the issue right there. And I believe that's the thing that's has always existed and it's supposed to exist. When you don't want to do something, I don't care how many times you agree to it, you're not supposed to do it. That's just it has to be what's called two consenting adults. That's just what it boils down to. Do I believe she earn that money? Hell yeah. Do I believe that there was times that she didn't want to do it and she did it either to appease him or under threat? 1,000,000%. Y'all not gonna hear me get on here and say that this man is innocent of all this stuff. But you put yourself in that situation, hey, you get yourself out. It just is what it is. I'm not a supporter of Diddy because I'm not a fan of no man putting his hands on no goddamn woman. And it just is what it is with that. But the problem with it is that's not federal. It's just not. So application of law doesn't exist there. Like I keep telling people,
if he
morality is one
forcing
thing.
her and beating her to have sex with people, and they flying these people out, and they getting the security guards and this person and that person to go get the baby oil and go get the supplies to supply this whole thing, then
I'm talking about on the domestic part where people are essentially saying, well, because he whooped on her, that blah 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 and all that stuff. But that's why I said coercion. That's why I say all my videos. So far, he's found guilty of coercion. I've never not said that part. But I hear where you're coming from. That's just my little pushback on it. Is that they're trying to paint it as not as though it's she's getting beat on to do all these things. They're saying, oh, when he beat on you, like they said yesterday, was he drunk? They said, yeah. So they're trying to sit here and paint it like this was domestic violence. So that's if I'm not articulating that part, then that's on me. But that's where I'm coming from with it.
mm-hmm. She testified that she got supplies and set up the freak offs. I'm sure she did. They both were setting them up, and I'm sure it was a large amount of his direction. So
Yeah. The Don stuff too. She's gonna testify about Diddy in Ireland, I think in Dublin, smashing some lady and running a train on her. I believe that's gonna come out. That's what Gene Deal said. So take that with a grain of salt.
well, that's what she talked about in her lawsuit. She talked about how she walked in the room, they were having sex, like she observed, people having sex, and she said like his assistant, she observes him being aggressive and different
Broke a
stuff.
comb over her head or smacked her with a bottle or a mirror or something. Hit her in the head with some object. I don't remember.
Yeah, like she was saying like so these are things that's in her lawsuit that I'm sure she's going to testify to. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see. I'm interested to see what she got to say, what Aubrey got to say, and most importantly, Kalina. I want to know because in order for them to get the RICO, the enterprise, the intimidation, I think that they need Kalina because they have to show his influence and how she suddenly made a statement after he was reaching out to her, the intimidation, the fear, all of those things. And I feel like they need Kalina to also prove certain things. So I'm interested to see how that looks like as well. Because I can't imagine a world where they don't subpoena the main person that they claimed he was witness intimidating.
Yeah. One more thing before I bounce out of here. What did you think about the dude who was in the freaking uh, hospital nightgown? All that stuff that he said, it turned out. Wow. They on my countryside. It turned out to be true.
Jonathan Adi.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's crazy. Things are stranger than fiction in this whole case. All of this stuff has been a whole unbelievable thing that's turned true. So it's interesting, but yeah, he definitely said some stuff that people thought he was lying, and turns out that that they were called freak offs, that Cassie was getting escorts and Diddy was getting escorts. So it's interesting because he mixed in some crazy talk along with it too. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having me up here. Always, always, always. But I'll be watching from the back. I gotta go hit this gym.
All right.
Gotta lose this fat.
All right. Thank you for coming up.
All right.
All right.
Well, let me leave.
All right. Let's check in and see what the trial is saying. So let me pull up Inner City Press. Or should I start a new live? She wanted to be his He's the one that really started the investigation. She went public saying none of them are innocent and her husband kept her out the loop. You said no. No, I just got here. No, I'm saying start a new live over so I could just leave that one like a discussion with Ceddy and then have one where we just specifically discussing what she's saying, her testimony and all that. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to restart the live. If y'all could catch it, catch it. If not, then, all right, I'm going to restart.